In this tutorial, you create a Zap that uses the DynamicPDF API Zapier app to create a PDF report from a DLEX template. You then rasterize the created PDF report into images. You start with a JSON layout data file stored in Google Drive. You then generate a PDF from a Remote DLEX template. Save the resulting report, rasterize its pages into PNG images, and then upload each image to Google Drive with the file names properly constructed. You then enhance the workflow by dynamically determining the correct DLEX template path using a lookup table and dynamically constructing file names and extensions for both the generated report and rasterized images so that you eliminate hard-coded values and make the Zap production-ready. This workflow created in this tutorial demonstrates how DynamicPDF API can serve as a powerful document engine inside Zapier, enabling automated report generation, PDF transformation, and multi-file processing without writing custom code. Okay, let's get started. Let's download both JSON layout data files needed for this tutorial. You can get them from the DynamicPDF Dashboard's File Manager. But first, we must add the samples. Let's add the samples and download the needed files. Log into your account and navigate to the File Manager. In the File Manager, you see a folder named Samples. Select the folder. Then click Add Samples. Select the SaaS invoice example. In the newly created folder, you see the JSON file that you need. Download it. Right-click and select Download from the pop-up to download the file. Now add the Creating a Page template designer sample. After adding, download the consent form JSON file. Now that we have downloaded both layout data files, let's review both DLEX files in DynamicPDF Designer so we can see how the PDFs are supposed to appear after being generated. Double-click the Invoice SaaS DLEX file to open it in Designer. Open the layout data, and you see the invoice data as a JSON document. Now, click the little green arrow in Designer's toolbar to generate a PDF preview of the report. Okay, close the report and let's view the consent letter DLEX file. Review the report, the JSON layout data, and then generate the PDF preview. This DLEX template is a sample form someone might wish to complete and sign electronically. You can learn how to create this sample in Designer by completing the Create a Page Using a Template tutorial. Review the JSON layout data and generate the PDF preview. Note that it's a 2-page PDF document. This will be important when we rasterize the report because it generates 2 PNG images, one for each page of the completed form. Before continuing, be certain you have a Google Drive account set up with the appropriate permissions. Here I assume a folder named Zapier_shared with a subfolder named DLEX-layout-DLEX path. I assume another folder named Output that holds the produced PDFs and rasterized images. Add both files we downloaded earlier to your Google Drive. Okay, now that we have the files in Google Drive, let's build our Zap using the DynamicPDF API Zapier integration. Create a new Zap. I just name it Tutorial. Our first task is to generate a PDF from the provided DLEX template. We need to get the file from Google Drive and then use the Generate PDF from Remote DLEX Template action to generate the PDF. We then upload the created report to Google Drive. First, let's create the trigger. Select the Google Drive app. Select New File in Folder for the trigger event. Click Continue to go to the Configure tab. Select your Google Drive and then the folder containing the JSON files. Do not include subfolders and leave the default values for the other two fields. Click Test Trigger to check for new files in the folder. The two files we added to Google Drive appears as new records, File A and File B. Select File A, but ensure it's the Invoice SAS JSON file. Click Continue with selected record, and this is the file used while building the rest of the Zap. Now add the DynamicPDF API app. Select Generate PDF from Remote DLEX Template as the action event. If we don't already have a connection we wish to use, which we do not here, then we need to create a new connection. Click Sign In. We need to add a DynamicPDF API key and provide a connection name. Let's get our API key from the DynamicPDF API dashboard. Click on the clipboard icon to copy the API key to your clipboard. Now paste the key. Now name the connection account. Click Yes. Continue to DynamicPDF API, and the connection is added. Click Continue to go to the Configure tab. Notice there are three fields to fill out: the DLEX path, the layout data file, and the output PDF file name. To get the DLEX path, return to the DynamicPDF dashboard and navigate to the File Manager. Navigate to the SAS-invoice folder. Right-click on the DLEX and select Copy File Path to add the path to your clipboard. Now paste the path. For the layout data, click the plus sign. And from Step 1, select the file from Google Drive. Click Continue to go to the Test tab, and then click Test Step to call the DynamicPDF API's DLEX layout endpoint and generate the PDF. Click the plus icon and add a new Google Drive step. Select Upload File as the action event. Now select the folder on Google Drive to output the file to. For the File field, map the file to the report created by the call to the DynamicPDF API step just created. Don't convert to a document. Hardcode a value for the file name and PDF as the file extension. Click Continue, and then click Test Step to upload the file to Google Drive. Now navigate to the Output folder in Google Drive and ensure the file was uploaded. Open the PDF, and there's the produced PDF report. Now let's take the PDF report we just created and rasterize it into a PNG using the DynamicPDF API's Rasterize PDF Pages to Images event action. Add a new DynamicPDF API step to your Zap. Select Rasterize PDF Pages to Images as the action event. Map PDF file from Step 2 to the PDF file field. Leave all the other fields blank and do not specify the output format, so by default, the endpoint returns PNG images. Test the step and ensure it returns a rasterized image from the report produced in Step 2. Now, recall that rasterizing a PDF by default creates a single image, or each PDF page. Also, recall that what is returned from the endpoint is a JSON document containing an array where each image is returned as a base64 encoded string. Although the DynamicPDF API Zapier action conveniently converts the base64 image strings to binary for you, we must still loop through each image if we wish to handle them. To do this, we insert a Looping by Zapier step using the Create Loop from Line Items action. Add a looping step to the Zap. Select Create Loop from Line Items as the action event, and then click Continue. For the Values to Loop field, enter file name as the name and map the file's file name from step 4 as the value. Click Add Value Set and enter File as the name and map the file's file from step 4 as the value. Select Continue and then test the step. Note that while testing, a loop only returns the first value. Of course, our report was only one page, so there is only one image in the array. Now we are going to save the images to Google Drive. But before we do, we need to get the file name and the extension from the looping results. To do that, we add a Formatter by Zapier step. Select Text as the action event. Select Split Text as the transform. For the input field, select File Name from step 5, where we loop through the images. Enter a period for the separator and first as the segment index. Test the step and ensure only the file name is returned. Now let's add another formatter step. Only this time, obtain only the file's extension. Add formatter using the same steps as before. This time, instead of selecting first as the segment index, select second. Test the step and only the extension is returned. Now let's add a new Google Drive Upload File action. For the File field, select the file from step 5, where we looped through the images. For the File Name field, map the output from step 6. Map the File Extension field to the output from step 7. Click Continue, and then Test step to upload the file to Google Drive. Now let's go to the Output folder in Google Drive. And the image was uploaded. Processing a single PDF and a single rasterized image is fine for demonstration purposes, but we hard-coded several things. We are assuming a JSON file named invoice-SAAS. We also hard-coded the path to the DLEX template. And when we map the rasterized images, we use the generic page 1, page 2 naming convention. But if we used a different file, or worse, add multiple data files to the Google Drive folder monitored by the Zapier trigger, then errors would occur and it would not process the files correctly. Let's fix these deficiencies and make our Zap more production-ready by removing the reliance on hard-coded file names and paths. delete the files currently in the Google Drive output folder. There are many ways we could dynamically look up the file names and file paths. But let's keep it simple and use a lookup table. Add a new formatter step between Step 1 and Step 2. Select Utilities as the action event. Select Lookup Table as the transform. For the lookup key, map the file name from Step 1. Enter the file name as the key. Then get the value by copying the path for the DynamicPDF API File Manager. Go to the File Manager, then get the relative path. Click Add Value Set to add a new table row. Now add consent form JSON and get the path to its associated DLEX template from the File Manager. In cases where the key is not found, we want it to fail, so add no match as the fallback value. Test the step, and we see it matches the relative file path copied from the File Manager. Now let's change the hard-coded path to the DLEX template and use the value from the Lookup Table. Go to Step 3, then go to the Configure tab. Map the output from Step 2 to the DLEX path variable. Click Continue. Now click Retest Step. Wait for it to call the endpoint and create the PDF. And we see it successfully used the DLEX template using the relative path from the Lookup Table. Go to Step 4 and recall that previously we hard-coded the file name that we uploaded to Google Drive. Add a new formatter step and let's use it to populate the file name value rather than the hard-coded value. Like before, select Text as the action event, map the file name, use a period to split the text, and select the first segment. Click Continue, and then test the step to ensure it gets only the file name without the extension. Now, from the Google Upload File action in Step 5, map the output from Step 4 as the file name. Go ahead and add a dash after the mapped value, and then the word Report. Retest the step, and then let's go to Google Drive to ensure it's properly named the uploaded file. And it did. Now, return to the Zap and go to the Upload File action in Step 10. Notice the file main is simply outputting the page name, which the endpoint names as Page 1, Page 2, etc. Instead, let's prepend the file name to the image's page name. Insert the file name by mapping the output from Step 4 to the file name field. Go ahead and add a dash between the two mapped values. Continue. Retest the step. Now go to Google Drive and let's ensure the properly named image was uploaded. Now let's test the Zap. Delete the output files from Google Drive. Return to Zapier. Notice the Test Run button on the top right. This button will run the Zap from start to finish. However, it is important to realize it has the same limitations as testing each action individually. It will start with the file we chose in the trigger, which in our case was invoice SAS. It then will complete each step, only processing loop values once, etc. Let's test the Zap. Click Test Run. Then on the left, click Test Run again. Wait for it to test each step. Now go to the Output folder in Google Drive. And we see it uploaded the created PDF report and the single rasterized image. Success! Now let's do a more robust test by publishing the Zap. First, delete the results in the Output folder. Then go to the DLEX Layout, DLEX Path folder and delete the two JSON files. We want the folder empty when the Zap starts. Then, when we add the files, we ensure the Zap processes them. Click Publish to publish the Zap. After publishing, the Zap begins monitoring the Google Drive folder we selected for the trigger. Every 2 minutes, it checks for new files. If it finds any, then it processes them. Add both JSON files to Google Drive. Now go to the Output folder and wait for the Zap to process the two JSON files. It will take a couple minutes, so be patient. There's the two processed reports. Now the rasterized page from Invoice SAS. And the two rasterized pages from the consent form. Both DLEX templates successfully created a PDF document, and then both PDF's pages were successfully rasterized. By combining DynamicPDF API REST endpoints with Zapier's orchestration tools, you unlock a flexible, no-code solution for document generation and transformation that integrates seamlessly into modern automation workflows. In this tutorial, you used 2 of the 10 available DynamicPDF API actions you can use to integrate PDFs into your Zaps. Use these actions to add PDF processing into your organization's workflow. I'm James, developer evangelist for DynamicPDF, reminding you, when you think PDF, think DynamicPDF. See you next time.